everyone.
Hi.
Hey, just doing the usuals.
Yes.
Just going to share on Instagram.
In the meantime, if you're here, let us know what you'll be reading while we do our usual social media stuff.
Okay.
Link.
Ugh. Pepper.
Reading sprints.
Okay. Link.
Okay.
I still don't have the font font
The
thingy on Instagram.
yung ano lang, the new stickers.
Yeah.
Meron. Oh, Gavin is also live. From Gavin Reads It All. Just checking on YouTube's.
Sure.
Okay, all good.
Link.
Medyo minor reading slump in the middle of the month.
Of the month?
Yeah, parang after I read the last book, which I read nung last reading sprints, parang I stopped reading for a while.
For a while, as in like a week.
And then, like, I'm only reading now, like today. So I read a little
Uh,
bit of Janussi lang just to test it out. And then I stopped again. It's okay. No. Water. Stay hydrated, everyone.
yeah. Oh, the pretty edition of Hurricane Wars.
Yeah. Finally reading it. After, when was this published? This was published, what is the month? But definitely last year, 2023. So it has been a while. Oops, sorry, getting a call. I just need to add load to the toll fee card. Easy trip, hold on.
I will also just drink water before we discuss what we're going to be reading.
Sorry. Nico's in the NLEX right now, and he needs uh load for the easy trip. So I had to like
It needs what?
the load for easy trip for the toll gate thing. So I'm like, okay. No. I'm slightly scared of the book that I'm gonna be reading. It's very thick.
It is. That's why I was like, when I picked it up earlier in my
How many
shelf, I'm
pages
like,
is
do I
this?
really want to?
It's 480 pages. To be fair, the margins are pretty big and the font is pretty big. It's not the same as if it's like a Brandon Sanderson for 80 pages
Mhm.
with like small font and small. So hopefully it's not that intense. But I did read the first chapter already, and there's a
Mm.
lot of terms, a lot of terms, a lot of like stuff happening already in the first chapter. I also have the
Well, while you've already mentioned it, might as well talk about what you will be reading tonight. It's just
so because I don't have the cover with me, but it's the Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. So this is the Fairy Loot edition. So it's very pretty. I really love this book. I think this was one of the first Fairy Loot books that I got. So it was really, really good. Hopefully I also like the story because otherwise then that would be a waste.
yeah.
I This is definitely a fantasy where you have it's been called like enemies to lovers kind of thing, like knife to throat enemies to lovers type of fantasy. And then I believe there's some it has like similarities to shadow and bone in the sense that there's like lightness, like power of light and power of darkness, but I don't know how far that similarity goes because I don't think I've really seen a lot of people read about this book. I mean, obviously I follow the authors, I see this book
Mm.
constantly on my feed, but I don't think like in booktube I don't think I really see a lot of people reading this. I've only seen a few and it has quite mixed reviews, so I'm hoping that I'm on the like the positive side of things. It's also very like thick. So hopefully I like it. It's 480 pages and I've only read the first chapter so far. And so far it's okay. It's starting off like any other fantasy where you have a lot of stuff that you need to learn about the world, about who they are. And the names of people and places are all very kind of complicated. Like they're not simple names and places. They're like like General Bishima, the Nenavar Dominion, the what's this? Amirante. Like it's very long names for stuff, so it's kind of hard to remember at first, but hopefully I get the hang of it pretty soon. I'm hoping to finish this for Akdang Pinoy because Thea Guanzan
Mm.
is a Filipino author. So this is for the prompt. Actually, the prompt was to read a book by a favorite author, but I don't have a favorite Filipino author yet. So
Mm.
I just read a Filipino book in my favorite genre, which is fantasy. So that's why I'm reading this one. But hopefully I finish this month so I can count it for Akdang Pinoy. But yeah, that is my book. How about you? Have you decided what you're reading? Are you finalized
Yes.
with your
Yes, yes.
choices?
So I will be reading Dwellers by Eliza
Mm.
Victoria. I'm not sure if it's like seen here, but it's by Eliza Victoria, who is also a Filipino author, and I am also reading it for Akdang Pinoy. And this is just gonna be my third, my third book for Akdang Pinoy, but it's okay. At least I'm reading. That is the point.
That's three Filipino books. So
I know, I know. I wasn't tackling it in a prompt way,
mm.
since I know Kat is also very lenient with her readathons, as long as it's by a Filipino author, it should be okay. So it's apparently I was checking out Goodreads again because I forgot what this is about. I just remember it's a horror mystery, but looking at it now, it's a dark fantasy horror mystery,
Oh.
and there seems to be like this cousins who are uh dwellers wherein they inhabit bodies by bodies of other people, but there are certain rules to this dwelling. So like rule number one, don't kill the body you inhabit, never mention your previous name, and don't talk about your previous life. So I'm like, it's very,
That's kind of cool.
yeah, it's very opposite of like before the coffee gets cold. Because before the coffee gets cold also has rules where you go back in time, whatever, whatever. So this kind of fascinating, just seeing the what do you call this, the summary.
Yeah, I am gonna
And
add
it's
it.
pretty short. It's pretty short, which is like
Well,
perfect for me.
I feel like I really need to start reading Eliza Victoria. Like I've heard so many good things about the book. Even this book, I just searched it on Stargraph, and one of the people
Mm.
I follow gave it 4.5 stars. So
Mm.
to read.
I'll let you know how it goes because that's what I will
Oh,
also be reading.
2014.
Hi there. Happy Sunday to you as
Hi.
well. So it's morning to where you are, Dreamer. Currently, it's nighttime for both Pam and
Yes.
I, since we're
Yeah.
from the Philippines. And you are currently reading A Problem with Pixies. Let me search that up. Is it the one by Jolie Byrne? Jolie Byrne? Oh, it's a very short book, if I'm looking at the correct one. Oh, it's 7:15 in the morning for you.
I like having like morning sprints. Like sometimes when I wake up early, I try to like look for random reading sprints in the morning. 'Cause makes me feel productive when I start the day by reading.
Ah, the one by Kat Healy. The cover looks cute. How are you liking it so far? And do you think you'd be able to finish it during our sprints today? I haven't tried joining reading sprints in the morning. I think there was just one occasion where I tuned in on one booktuber and I was working. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
let's just use
Like,
this
like
as a productivity sprint, but I haven't done live sprints in the morning.
sometimes I'm usually the only one up in the morning, like very early in the morning, so it's very like quiet and relaxed. So I can just play it at like a low volume and just have that as like white noise. Kind of nice.
Just starting it. It's been on my TBR for a bit. Okay, well, we have four sprints today of 30-minute intervals, so that should be a good amount of time for you to make a dent on your book. So, just in case people are just tuning in now, or if they are tuning in once we've started our first sprint, I will be reading The Dwellers by Eliza Victoria. It's for ongoing readathon for Akdang Pinoy, which is to read Filipino author books. And Pam will
Yes.
be.
I'm reading The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. So this is also by a Filipino author, and is a fantasy book. I think it's adult fantasy. Yeah, it's adult fantasy, and I have not started it, so I don't have any thoughts for you yet, but hopefully by the end of this sprint, I would be very, very invested in the story. And this edition is from Fairy Loot, which I really love.
Mhm. Okay, so would you like to start sprint number one
Yeah,
so we can get
let's go
some
for it.
reading
Yeah.
done? Okay. So, in case anyone tunes in once we've started their sprint, this is our first sprint, and you can still join the succeeding ones and you can share what you will be reading in the comment section. Happy reading!
Happy reading. See you in half an hour.
Hello again.
Hello.
How was the first sprint for you?
I started on page 11. I'm now on page 32. So I read around 19 pages.
Mm.
And so far, it's still setting up stuff like what the magic system is, which is essentially, it feels like elemental, but it's focused on storms. Like we have a like someone who controls wind, someone who controls rain, thunder, darkness, light, shadows, and then randomly fire. But essentially, it feels like the whole thing is obviously it's the hurricane wars. It's because like they have this big ships that fly that can cause storms, like they can control the at like the weather around them essentially. So that's sort of like the main magic in it. And we're starting in the middle of like a decade long war already. So just getting the lay of the land in terms of who's winning, the territories and stuff like that. I guess my only thing that I'm not liking so far, and I feel like will be a problem, is the writing style is very like it feels very overwritten in terms of describing things and like describing action, describing stuff. Like for example, one thing that I remember was it's describing the fumes of the ship that she's like maneuvering because they have these smaller ships, kind of like fighter jets, but it's a ship that's flying, and she says that my ship is powered by blah blah. Her ship is powered by blah 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 blah. It it fumes it what did it say? Like it says something along the lines of it creates fumes of gr- magical green discharge. I'm like, I mean, in my head, I already said fumes, which is like by fumes,
Mm.
it's already something that's like flowing out of
Mm.
something. I think I need like with fumes, I'm thinking, okay, it's like smoke. It's color green. Okay, it's magical. And then you say discharge, and I'm like, it feels like it's supposed to be liquid now or
Liquid,
something.
yeah, yeah,
And it just has a lot of that where it's using a lot of words to describe something or an action or someone, and sometimes those words are just like, yes, they're kind of like synonymous, but it's not how you would use it, or it feels
the usage, yeah.
contradictory to what. Yeah, so it's similar but it's not, it's like the wrong usage. So that's kind of throwing me off, and it's pretty much like everything is written that way. So I feel like that's if the characters and the plot doesn't hook me, that's gonna be a problem because it's gonna be like difficult to read. But yeah, that is my 32-page review. I feel like I've just been ranting about all the books that I've been reading recently. How about you?
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, I am liking Dwellers by Eliza Victoria. So I got to 14% of the book, which is like chapter 4. So the chapters are pretty short so far, and it's still building up the mystery. So we have the characters who woke up in a different body, but it hasn't dwelled on the mechanics of this switching bodies or
Mm,
dwelling in a different body because like in the beginning it just shows that they got into an accident as in
mm,
their previous bodies, their old life, and they had I don't know. I don't know the mechanics yet or the physics of it, of like how they transferred bodies because of the accident or the impact or whatever. And now they're just trying to see the life of the people that they are currently inhabiting or dwelling. So it's pretty mysterious
it's
and
remind. I was
reminds
just
you of
gonna say, it's reminding me of a thriller book.
behind your eyes,
Yeah,
behind her eyes.
her eyes. Yeah, like ooh.
But this is more, I think, fantasy
Yeah.
ish because it mentioned something about using a spell. So
Mm.
since just 14% through, I don't know yet 100% how this is gonna end, how this is gonna go. But I am very curious because like it's very mysterious. And the way that it's written, it flows smoothly. Like it would just keep you curious about what's to come. And I have a feeling that this won't be the first Eliza Victoria book that I'm going to be reading because like she writes pretty well. Like
Wait, is this your first Eliza Victoria or no? Right?
yeah, this is my wait. Well,
Okay.
unless after Lambana is considered
Ah,
because
yeah.
that's also
It's the
Eliza
first,
Victoria.
I
So
guess, purely like written
yeah, if it's like a full
short
length
story
novel, this
novel
is the first
novella. Yeah.
one.
Ooh.
Okay. So Dreamer is in chapter 2 of A Problem with Pixies. How are you liking the book so far? And do you think
Oh,
you're
we're
gonna
all reading
continue reading?
fantasy. I just realized.
Oh, not the thriller for once.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I was reading. We were both reading YA last week. So,
we're aligning this time.
hi, Rain. Is this your first time seeing you in our sprints? I made tea and I read 10 pages of The Full Moon Coffee
What
Shop.
is
Hold on. Let me
that? That
just.
sounds like a
The Full
cozy
Moon.
book.
Yeah, it sounds
Sounds
like
like a
a.
cozy horror or cozy thriller book.
Oh, it's a mystery. Oh no, never mind. I just thought it was a mystery because like the cover. Magical realism.
Oh, Japanese. I didn't
Myth
realize.
of cats returning favors to those who care for them. Oh, it sounds like a heartwarming,
So cute.
a
Very cozy
heartwarming magical
vibes.
realism Japanese slit. Because like it involves talking cats.
Yeah.
Huh. Is my TBR gonna be longer because of this? How are you liking it though, Rain? Like, well, you're 10 pages in, but does it read like the typical Japanese lit that's cozy but also like mysterious? It sounds so cozy.
Japanese lit is like it's either just cozy and heartwarming or it's gonna like ruin you.
No in between.
No in between. I'm just updating my story graph. Currently reading 32 pages. 32 pages.
You are enjoying it.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice. That's good to hear.
It's cute.
It
I'm
looks.
saying it's like, the second part. So would you recommend it to us if we're looking for something cozy to read for the next few months? Like what novel does it remind you of? Like is it like Legends and Lattes? Although I haven't read
So
that
many.
yet.
There's so many like Japanese books recently that has a cat
Cats.
in it. Like there
The
was like
detective
a cat who
one.
saved books or something like that, and then there's a. I have some in my like
The
TBR.
Kamigawa Food Detectives also
Yeah,
has like
Kamagawa for Detectives. What else was that? Hold on. Yeah, the cat who saved books, and then there was another one like the cat and the I'm forgetting, but so many cat Japanese books, which is I guess to be expected.
there's one that I looked at recently. It's called Will Prescribe You a Cat. I thought it was a nonfiction at first, but apparently it's also contemporary literary fiction. So in this case, like it talks about the healing power of cats. So there's this clinic that you go to and they will prescribe you a cat. So
Like, do they give you the cat, or you have to look for the cat yourself? They just give you
I
like
think
the paper.
they
Okay,
give
look
you the
for
cat
a
if I
crabby
remember
cat.
correctly.
And
I thought it was a nonfiction
oh,
because of the way that the cover was
looks like yeah.
made.
That's what I was talking about. What you're looking for is in the library. There's also like a cat
Mm.
in the cover of that. And that's pretty popular
It's like
recently.
what you're looking for is in the library. A coffee shop run by cats who make delicious now. Gives you inspiring advice about your I
I
wish
feel like
this is
I
a
would want
true
to go to
place.
that place. Yeah, I would pay to get a reading from a cat and then eat some good snacks and have some good coffee. I feel like that would be such a perfect like place to go and chill out.
I would never leave, probably.
Are you like very familiar with, or are you the type of person who's like into astrology or no?
I don't think so. Like, I have no idea when, like, the moon rising or, like,
Yeah,
shit like that. Like, I have no idea. Like, I just know I'm Aquarius. That's it.
that's it.
I'm not sure I like the astrology part, but the cats are cute.
Like I'm
Has to
just
be.
picturing like this cat just having this deck of tarot cards and then she's gonna be like with the paws and like okay, laying that, oh, flipping open your card. I'm like so cute
Even with like a cafe, like imagine a cat
with
just
a like an
making
apron,
your food. Yeah.
making like pulling a shot of espresso with an additional topping of fur.
I simply would not leave.
Like I'm
And
usually,
I
I
wonder
mean,
if like
I'm more of a dog person than a cat
oh,
person, but my sister has a cat, and she's been like sending us photos and videos of his her cat, and they're just like stupid little creatures. Like they just look so just do the most stupid things all the time. Like he sends me photos of her cat like doing this weird sleeping poses on the top of the most random things.
cats are very cute though. Like once you get to know them and once they're comfortable around you, they're wearing aprons. No, my heart. At least they're wearing aprons.
For food
I don't
safety.
what which game it was, but I'm not sure if it's Baldur's Gate or there's this like place or like there's this mission where it showed like this not a village but like a place where it's run by cats and like the player the one who posted the video was just standing there and like just looking at how the cats were preparing stuff like some were making the soup some were making the noodles or something like that. It's so cute. Makes me want to be there.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I did go recently. Well, recently, like in the last 3 months, I think. There was a. It's a barbecue place. It's a Chinese barbecue place, and they had cats in it. And then it's like a big place, and it has this camping theme, and they have cats, and they even have like a section at the back where it's like a cat apartment where they have the beds, the litter, and everything of the cats, and they have like 5 cats. I think they're all British short hairs,
Mm.
and it's so weird. Just like you're just grilling your food, and then there's a cat staring at you, like you better
But they're
give
not
me.
asking for food.
I don't think I've seen anyone like be super duper like owing at the human or something, but they were sometimes like really up close and personal. I'm like, I'm gonna add like a side of fur to my food then.
But you knew that there would be
Yeah,
cats before
I
you
do.
went
Because I
there.
went there because my sister, who had the same cat, because she wanted me to touch the cat so I know how soft they are. Because we were like debating on whether one of my dogs who has soft fur, who's softer, like
Uh-huh.
my dog or her cat. But obviously they live in the States, so I couldn't really touch her cat. So she took me to that cafe when they visited here and said, "Okay, this is exactly like my cat. Touch this cat." That's the only reason why we went to that place. Like we didn't even order barbecue. We ordered like random snacks and drinks. We didn't do any barbecue. We were really just there for the cats.
But is it a place where they would require you to purchase a food, like purchase food first? Because there usually it's
Well,
what happens
it's
with it.
a they have like a server, so they take your orders and stuff at the table. So, I mean, I'm not sure if there's the. I mean, you probably definitely have to buy something because you're taking
Mm,
up like a table, but they're not like enforcing you to like do the barbecue. Like you could just
uh,
order like
drink.
random snacks and stuff, yeah. And then they seem fine, but we went very late in the night, like around almost close. Like it's open until like 2 a.m. or something like that,
Oh,
3 a.m. And we went there at like around 11, so there's not a lot of people. So
interesting. Where is this though?
it's in Makati. I'll send you the link later.
Were there a lot of cats? What time are they open though?
Um, li- I forgot the name. I have to look through my like photos for the name. But I think they open at noon, or they're not open in the morning, and then they're open noon until very late
Mm,
into the like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It seems like they're going for the drinking crowd, the people like
uh,
chill drinking crowd, because it's like the place is big and it's quite quiet in a sense. It's not like the place where they play loud music and stuff. And then they just have the cats there. And I think the cats go to sleep at around midnight. So if you want to get to the cat, you have to go before midnight. Like you can go inside their cat apartment and like pet them while they're asleep, but they're only roaming like before midnight, I think. It's a pretty cute place. Like they decorated really well. It's like camping. They have the fold out chairs. They have like sections where it's different like types of seating. They have the regular tables, the like
mhm.
camping chairs around like a low table, and then they have tents in there or something. It's pretty cute.
Okay, I think it's time to visit the
The cafe or the barbecue place, I suppose.
yeah, because like the first time that I heard of like a barbecue place, because like usually it's just a cafe with like pastries and stuff.
I'll look for the place, the name of the place, and then I'll send it to you later.
Okay, so should we do sprint number two?
Yep, yep.
Okay, hold on. Sprint number two. Happy reading, everyone. We'll see you in 30 minutes.
Happy reading. Hello. How's the sprint?
I made it to 29% of the book.
Hmm.
So the first sprint I was at 14, now I'm at 29. So it's a quick read. It's a quick read and I'm still liking it very much. How about you with Hurricane Wars?
I made it to page 52. I think I'm reading it super slow. Like, super slow. So I actually checked Libby and the audiobook was there. So I think for
Mm.
the next sprint, I'm gonna try the whole audiobook reading at the same time. I think I kind of figure out I tried a couple of times like what my speed should be. And I think I
Mhm.
kind of figured out that if I listen to like 2 point what's that 2.2 speed, it kind of matches like how I read with my eyes. So I'm gonna try that and see because I feel like I'm losing because of like I mentioned earlier, it was overwritten, so there's like a lot of words. Like all the
Mm.
sentences are long, so I feel like sometimes mid sentence I'm kind of losing focus. So I feel like if I'm hearing it, maybe that would help. I think that's my
Mhm.
theory. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we'll see. But I am interested in the world, the plot, not so much a character. The characters are like so far.
Mm.
So I do wanna continue reading. It's just that the writing is it's such a big deterrent. And I don't know if it's just me. I'm gonna check like reviews after if this is something that other people had problems with. But the map, I just noticed I was looking at the map while I was reading it, and the map had the Philippines in it. Like
Oh,
this is the whole
is
map of
this
the
just
place.
part of the
Oh, you
map?
have the book right. You have the book right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
wait,
the
wait,
whole.
wait. Let me get it.
Okay, all right.
Same. I'm gonna get the cat. Okay. Let's check.
If you look at the like, there's like an archipelago of islands to the south, and then it's kind of
Oh, it's
magnified.
signed. Wait, sorry. I just noticed it's signed.
Wait, is that an
Oh,
arc or a final
I
copy?
think it's a final copy.
Okay.
Wait, why don't I have a map? Wait, am
Oh,
I? Where is it located? Is it before the prologue
yeah,
or?
before the prologue. Maybe this is like a prelude thing.
No, I don't have a
No.
map.
Okay, anyway, I'll show you. So this is the thing. There's an archipelago here, and then it's zoomed in this box, and then there's the
Uh-huh.
Philippines,
Ooh,
like the
but
shape with other
is it
islands.
set in the Philippines or Philippines is just part of the world
It's,
building?
I think it's gonna be like a major. It's not called the Philippines. It's called
Uh,
Nineveh. Um, but I think it's gonna be like a major setting because the main character
mm,
actually in the chapter that I left, she's going on this covert mission to go into the quote unquote Philippines, the Nenavar Dominion, and she's going there because there's this thing that she has to like get or something for her magic to increase. So she's going there, and then apparently this place is in the tropical, has a tropical climate. It's a
mm.
matriarchy. But yeah, so I was just checking the map, and I was like, why does this look like the Philippines? So that was pretty fun to see in a fantasy, like in a internationally published fantasy book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Kat. Kat will be
Hello.
joining the third sprint. So, Kat, I am reading Eliza Victoria's Dwellers. So, I think you'll be excited by that.
I really
I
want
will
to
be.
read the new book that she's promoting right now. The Ascension, is that the name? Ascension, the one with the house in the cover. Ascend.
Is it a new release?
Yeah, the new. Yeah, Ascension. I don't want to read it. It looks like because I've been trying
Are
to
they
read more
books?
scary books. I feel like I'm such a newbie to the horror
I think that's
genre.
a common theme with Eliza Victoria's books.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel like it's a good time for me now to explore her because I want to read horror and I'm like in the mood for it. But I don't have a lot on like physically because I'm trying to prioritize my physical books. But
Mhm.
it'd be good to like have one from a Filipino author as well. Is she based in the Philippines?
I am
You know?
not 100% sure. I
Mhm.
think, is it safe to assume as a Victoria? I'm gonna look at her.
Stalk her on Instagram.
I was looking at her website actually.
Mm.
This is her website. It doesn't. I think she is. It doesn't
Mm,
say anything about her moving to a different place.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
She
How
is
about
on
you? How's
Insta.
your book? Are you like? Do you think you're gonna finish it like in the next couple of days? Is it the kind of book that's sort of like gripping you, or no?
I think it's a yes because a short. It's a short book, so I
Yeah, yeah,
should
you mentioned
be
it was
able
short.
to. Yeah, which is the perfect length. Because like I saw that it's around 160 pages with the hardbound.
Mm.
I'm actually wondering if her books are gonna be at MIBF because like I'm planning to go to
Oh yeah,
MIBF.
that's in September, right? Next month,
Yeah, first.
September
Oh wait, second week. Like around September
11th.
11th to 15, I think.
Oh, okay. Let us coordinate. When
Hmm.
I, is MIBF has like books from all over. Like it's not just Filipino books, right? It's an event with all of the books, all of the different publishers, or is it
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
local?
Different publishers, different bookstores. Even like the mango store that I follow, Tanko Bonbon, is gonna be there. So it's
Ooh,
really different
really
publishers
big.
and stores.
Okay, I
Maybe she's
shall.
based in Australia. Ooh.
Oh,
Just goes back at here.
is that pepper?
It's been thunder and like ugh. So my dog is barking.
Very apt for my
Hold
book,
on.
The Hurricane Wars.
I think this is I am liking it. I am liking it. Hold on.
Oh, okay, Kat. I shall take that note of that. I'm not sure if Pam is gonna go on a weekend. I don't know. Are you gonna? Do you think you're gonna go
Yeah,
weekend or no? I
I
might
most
go
likely will go on a
twice.
weekday because I'm in Manila Tuesday to Thursday, so I most
Yeah,
likely will.
yeah. I think I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna try to go. I'm gonna go whenever you're going, and then a weekend.
If it's a weekend, hmm, I'll see. I'll see. I'll see
The
how
peer
my schedule
pressure.
will look like. I mean, it's a given that I feel like most people will go on a weekend
Yeah, it's
anyway.
probably gonna be
But at
very
this,
big.
but also at the same time, I don't want there to be lots of people. So
Yeah, I know.
going on a weekday is going on a weekday also works in my favor.
Where is it? Is it gonna be in SMX or
This is gonna
Stars?
be an
Huh?
essence.
Yeah, SMX.
They
The
usually
usual.
hold it there
Yeah.
anyway. And like you can just get a ticket when you pass by. fully booked. We're gonna
Hmm.
like a bookmark thingy.
Book signing. The thing with me is that I'm not really super duper interested in book signings. Like I've never been
Mm,
the type of person to like if obviously if it's there and it's
mm,
convenient, I would do it. But I've never been the type of person to go to book signings so I can get my book signed. Like if I'm there, then fine.
mm.
I'll do it. I don't know. I just it was never been my thing. I would like it
What
would be
if?
fun if
What if it's fondly?
be I mean, still, I don't think. I mean, it would be fun if
Really?
she's there and she's nice. But I would be like, I don't know. I'm just never, even with celebrities and stuff. Like, I've never been the
Mm,
type to like, oh, I want to get their signature on stuff or whatever. But if they had like a talk or if they had a panel or something, that I would be interested in attending. Or if there's like a
mm,
way. Obviously, I guess with book signings, the good thing is that sometimes if there is enough time, they do like chat with you a little bit. And I guess that would be like a good
yeah, yeah,
place to
yeah.
like ask questions and stuff like that, meet the
Ask question. Yeah,
author.
yeah, yeah.
But then
Okay.
usually, obviously, that's like not what you should expect because what if there's a lot of people and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think I would be more interested in like panels and talks rather than getting my book signed. But obviously, if I'm there and if there's no like big line, which is like impossible, there's always a line. I would get my book signed. I don't know. It's just me. I mean, I've never just been the type to get
Mm,
stuff.
makes sense. I mean, they already have their book. I think I get it. I think it looks on. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the good thing about Philippine good and I guess of like quote unquote fame as like international author. So there's like it's a lot more intimate, it's a lot more personal, and I do like it when it's like that. But then sometimes if it's like a really big author, and it's just like a crazy lie and people just want their attention, which is like good for them, it's not something that I'm interested in, which is probably what happens with like celebrities. Celebrities have like big crowds and stuff. So I'm never like I hate crowds. Maybe that's the root cause of this. I hate crowds. I like it when
Mm,
it's like an intimate setting or something manageable where I don't have
yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
bump and whatever other people while just getting to that person. Maybe maybe it is the crowd thing that's like putting me off.
Understandable. I mean, I also don't like crowds. That's why I mentioned that it works in my favor if I'm gonna go
For
on a
weekdays,
weekday
yeah.
on MIBF because like I feel like I don't um like I get it like these are books and I want to have like space to be able to like browse them
Yeah,
without
I know.
having to like
Yeah, because I remember when we went to the Big Bad Wolf here in the no in Quezon City. It's a small venue compared to the one in Pasay, but
mm,
it was so packed that it was just so hard to really browse. Like
yeah
it's not enjoyable to like you feel bad sitting in a spot or like staying in a
yeah
spot and like blocking the
yeah yeah
way
yeah,
while
yeah.
you're checking out books. You kind of feel bad, so you feel rushed, and I don't like that.
And
So
even the setup was like it wasn't
it was
flat so
weird. It's
like
not. I don't think it was safe.
yeah 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 it wasn't
Because I feel like obviously when you're walking, you're looking at the like the shelves of the
yeah yeah
books,
yeah
like
yeah.
at the table. You're not exactly super duper paying attention to where you're stepping, and then suddenly there's like a step down or a step up and stuff like that. And then there's a table, and then there's space for you to browse, but then behind you you're gonna fall off the edge of the platform or something. I feel like it's not the most safe
Yeah, not the
to
most
do that
safe
whole thing.
version of
I
Big
mean,
Bad Wolf.
yeah. It's kind of like weird, and it was a lot of people. It was also small, so maybe that's why it felt like
Yeah,
there were.
very small. Are any of you more on the Kindle or physical So do you want to answer this first?
I actually go back and forth. Before, when I just started reading again, like 3 years ago, 3 4 years ago, I was more of a Kindle person. Like I barely had any physical books. I just read everything on the Kindle because it was easier. I can bring it with me anywhere, and I still do that now. Like I would always bring a book, and it's usually in the form of Kindle everywhere. But then now that I have a lot of physical books, aka now that I've spent so much money on physical books, I feel like I'm more more inclined to pick something off of my physical TBR.
Mm,
Probably because I like, one, obviously I want to read the stuff that I buy, and two, when you're
mm,
filming videos for booktube, like usually it looks a lot more interesting when you have like a physical book, or if you're like alternating between a Kindle, a physical book, or your phone or audiobook or something. So that's kind of like the reason why I've started reading more physical. So it wasn't really because I prefer physical books. Obviously in the past, before I got a Kindle, I was like physical books only. I want to feel the paper. I want to smell the books. I was that kind of like obnoxious, pretentious
yeah, yeah,
person. But then once you've experienced the convenience of a Kindle, like being able to read a book while you're waiting in line, like easily, and then once you're like done waiting in line, you can just like put it in your bag like without caring really. That's like so convenient. And even reading in like wet spots, like in pools, in the beach or stuff, like I would be horrified of having to bring a physical book near water, but having a Kindle makes that easier. So I guess short answer is that I have phases. But right now I'm in a physical reading like phase. I feel like I went on a tangent on that. How about
but
you?
I
Are you
totally
like
get
more
it.
of a
I
Kindle?
totally get it because I am also the same. Like, um, I feel like there's no black or white answer with this one, at least for me or for us, because for a bit of context, I my first Kindle got broken like a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, I was thinking, okay, I still have my physical books, I still have my iPad, I still have my phone. So I was like, okay, maybe I can live with this. I can live with like just relying on my iPad or
5 days
relying on my
later.
physical books. But yeah, a few days after, like not even five, I think, I got a new Kindle. It's like I think it's more than just like the the convenience of like having a smaller, more compact device. Because like my iPad, even though it's an iPad mini, it's still big and it's still like it's still kind of heavy to read at night or to bring with me wherever I go. So I was like, okay, obviously I cannot live without a Kindle or an e-reader, but it also doesn't replace physical books for me. Like there's still that happiness that goes with seeing your
Yeah.
shelf, seeing all of the unread books that you have, all of the books that you bought. So
Yeah.
and there's just like this thing that when you're deciding what to read next, you'll be like, oh, the first thing you see are your stacks of books. Even though you don't choose any
From
of
the
those
start.
books, it's still there. They're still there.
Yeah. I
So
feel
it's
like
also both for me.
Yeah, I feel like for both of us, we still have that Beauty and the Beast Belle like dream of having this big library. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about having a shelf that feels
Mm,
good. But I guess for practicality, we like
yeah.
switch back and forth between the Kindle and physical. And I personally, I don't really annotate at all. So like, that doesn't like diminish my reading if I'm not able to like underline or tab or whatever, because I don't really do that much. So maybe for people who like to write on their books and like to leave comments and they're mostly like physical. But yeah, I don't like care either way, but I
Mm,
do like seeing books. So maybe I guess that means I'm more physical. Like I'm thinking about it on the
mm.
extreme. Like what if you could only have one? Like you could never
Yeah,
have
yeah,
physical,
yeah.
you could only have the Kindle, I feel like I would pick the physical books.
Huh. But in terms of acquiring them, if that is also a factor with like um it's the book.
Pepper is having a moment. He's like, I'm not having it.
So like there's still thunder and lightning, so he's seeing it and hearing it. But going back, I think if that were the case, if I can only choose one, and price is a factor, I think I might have to opt for the
I'm not thinking
Kindle-ish.
about price, obviously.
But I to add to the point of like convenience and like since
Mm,
I mostly go to the office like three
yeah,
times a week, so I travel, whatever. I can't always carry a physical copy of the book that I'm reading. Even though I have a physical copy, I
you
would
would say,
find myself getting the ebook
"Oh,
version of the
interesting.
book. So I'm
I don't
like,
think I've ever
this
done
isn't
that.
practical.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that. If I have the physical, I usually read the physical. At most, I would try and get the audiobook,
Mm.
and then listen that way. But I barely listen to audiobooks too. So trophy books, yes, they're just trophy.
Truly.
They're
I dream of
decorations. They're not really books.
yeah, wouldn't that
Like
be?
all of us
Wouldn't that be
bookworms,
nice?
when we're younger, we saw that scene and we're like, oh, we're gonna have that when we're older. And then we didn't realize how expensive that would be.
It's like I need an actual beast for that. Like, damn.
I actually need to kiss an actual beast to get the library. Who knew?
But they say that you need only at least a
A
thousand
thousand
books for
to call it.
your library to be called the library, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I
How
have 1,000 books though, and I
I
don't think they
think.
would fit my room. So
Yeah, let me check. I think I have. Let me just check. I think I have like 100 plus only. Because like 1,000 books is a lot of books. Now that I think about it, I was thinking, I was like organizing my shelf, and I thought, oh, I have so many books. Maybe this is like, I don't know, 400. And then I counted, and it's so far. It's so far from that. I think it's 189.
I
Well,
haven't
I
done.
added four recently, so it's now 193.
Oh, I
So
think.
it was like,
Well, my books are everywhere. Like they're on shelves, they're on
yes,
cabinets. So they might
yeah.
be
So for
bordering
me,
on like 200 something.
when I counted, I was like, damn, 1,000 books is a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
it's like
lot of books.
imagine it on your wall. I
I
think it would
know.
take up like a floor to
Like I
ceiling
have
kind of.
like right now I have basically like two bookshelves, and that's only less than two, like that's only around 200
Hmm.
books. So if I have to multiply that by five, that is a lot of that
I
is
think
a
I'm
lot.
also basing it on Jack Edwards' like current collection because he has like a
A
thousand
thousand.
ish books, and
Yeah.
he has an actual like room for his books. So
Yeah. I mean, I've already like started before I got my new shelves. I've been like adding books as decor in random places in the house. Like I would put it under the TV. I would put it on like the entryway cabinet,
your
or
desk.
in my partner's desk as like decor. But it's just because I don't have any other spot for it. But now I've like put them all back into the bookshelf, and then who knows how long that would last. But I am doing pretty good about like reading my books and then unhauling the ones that I don't like. I feel like I've
Mm.
unhauled 15 books
Oh.
recently, and I've been like selling them like super cheap just so I could just get rid of them.
Mm.
Because sometimes I think for me, when I that's like my barometer. When my bookshelf is full, if I don't like it or I don't think I'll reread it,
Read it, yeah, yeah.
I have to like, it's kind of like I have to take one out to put a new one in because I don't have any other space for it. Yeah.
JBV said, "How do we address you? Late to the spread party. We'll be reading the first book of Wheel of
Oh,
Time. Wow, that's a
high
huge
fantasy.
series."
Not like 10 books, 15 books. Like
Yeah,
a
and like
big amount.
I
You
think
know?
was it Sanderson that's continuing it. I, I forgot, but it's a different author. Am I thinking of Wheel of Time? There's this book series. There's fantasy series wherein the original author is already dead. So it was a different author that took over. Let me search quickly if I'm Wheel
I
of
just know that
Time.
Wheel of Time is this very, it's kind of like
Oh, I
for
am
people,
correct. I
it
am
is Wheel
correct.
of Time.
Yeah,
Brandon
it is Wheel
Sanderson.
of Time.
Maybe
For the
Brandon
final
Sanderson should
three. The
focus on
final
writing
three.
his own books first. Well, he is a prolific
Girl,
writer, but he
yeah,
writes so much. So
he
I guess,
always r- writes fast. So
yeah, I guess that he has all of that energy. So
imagine having that brain power. I could
no,
never.
how to be that productive?
I would be unstoppable if I had that level of brain
Like I
power.
feel like he writes a new book in the space of time that I read a book from him. I'm like, how do I keep up?
Okay, JB, we actually still have two more sprints left. Both are 30 minute intervals, so you aren't that late to the sprint
There's an
party.
hour of reading still. Wheel of Time is such a an intimidating series.
Mm.
I feel like I see it a lot, especially with people who are like hardcore fantasy readers. So I'm like, I want to read it, but also I also want to read Stormlight Archive, and I also want to read blah blah blah. And I'm like, when do I have the time? I still need to reread Mistborn and finish the series.
I do not even ask me about like the Stormlight archive. I still haven't touched the series, but I have to. It's not like I'm DNFing it. It's more of like I do not have the brain power to read them currently because it's a fucking long book.
How
So
long did it take you to read Way of Kings? Is it like
how long did it take me? I think it was a month.
like
It was
reading
a
it on and off? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a month. Like I was in the mood to read it because I was also buddy reading it with Bran, as in like my
Yeah.
husband. So there's this pressure to like,
Pressure.
okay, I have to
Maybe
keep
you
up
need to
with.
add the pressure.
Girl, we still have Babel for September, so do not add the pressure
Yeah.
right now. And I have like arcs lined up for September that I need to read.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so many books, so little time.
I know.
Maybe that means we should like read more now.
Yes. We
Actually
should
read the
get
books that we say we
on.
want to read.
We will do sprint number 3 so everyone else can also read more of their book. And we'll check in on you 30 minutes
Yes.
from now. Happy
Happy reading.
reading!
Hello.
Hi again, everyone. How was the third sprint?
I made it to page. I'm just checking because I was listening to the audiobook. I think I made it to page 79. I think it's going by faster now that there's less description of things because she's already described like the different magic, the setting, the whatever. So it's now more like fast paced in terms of like a lot of stuff is happening. And the audiobook is helping because I think it's still very wordy and the audiobook is helping with that. But also I discovered something which I also posted on Instagram. That's why I was distracted. There's like a book flip book animation on the pages of this book. Like not sure you can see the ship.
Ooh,
At
how
first
can you tell me that?
when I was reading it, at first I saw the initial ones where it looks like a I thought it was just like a printing. You know how there's sometimes marks on the paper, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
first thing I saw, like, oh, maybe that's just like an excess
Or
ink.
yeah, yeah, a misprint, whatever.
And then I flipped a page and it became a ship. It was a ship on this river. Like, why is the ship now? And then I realized that it's a flip book animation. So it's pretty
Huh.
cool.
I wonder if that's. I think that's an exclusive.
Yeah, it's probably part of the fairy loot thing.
Yeah, because it's
Cool.
not
I mean, they put a lot of
mine.
thought into it.
Yeah.
Because some of the fairy loot books, they have like obviously they have the special cover and paper, sprayed edges, and then that's it. But this one they had quite a bit of I guess special stuff in it, which is nice.
I mean, it should for the price that you
Yeah,
pay.
so nice
Yeah.
trying to like flip it. More books should have flip book animations.
Yeah.
How about
JP
you?
says I'm switching. Oh yeah, I haven't told you. So
I'm also I got
you
McDonald's, so I'm eating
got
McDonald's.
to 49% of the book. So almost
Okay.
halfway. Almost halfway. And it's still very mysterious. It's very mysterious still. Like I don't want to spoil anything because I might recommend this to you and you might read it. But it's really good so far. Actually, sometimes um I forget that it's set in the Philippines and
Mm.
the setting is in the Philippines. So there would be like mentions of like make Hawaiian. And I'm like, hold up,
What?
wait. Oh yeah, we're in the Philippines. So like because it reads like a foreign author wrote it.
Mm.
And I'm like,
Interesting.
wait. I have to always remind myself, like, no, this is a
The
Filipino
setting
author
is the
book
Philippines.
and the setting is in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I think it's more of I tend to forget because it's mostly focused on the current characters and as in the cousins, and you would only get glimpses or nods of it being in the Philippines based on the places that they would mention.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting. I think I read the book. Yeah, I read The Quiet Ones by Glenn Diaz recently, and there was a
mm,
chapter there where there was this foreigner from, I think from Australia, and she basically had an eat, pray, love moment where she went to the Philippines to like search purpose in life, find herself, something like that. And she stayed in the Philippines doing like odd jobs, like trying things out, meeting new people for like 5+ years. But when I think about it, like it's basically eat, pray, love.
Philippines
But
though.
then because the setting is the Philippines, they would mention like pagod food and like
Yeah,
baler.
yeah, yeah.
Stuff like that. It was like it kind of like not turns me off. Like I'm just surprised. Like, oh yeah,
Throws
we're
you off,
reading
yeah,
about
yeah,
someone in the Philippines. It's not like the other way around where they go into like a different country. They're like, oh, it's pretty interesting.
JP says I'm switching between books and it's a pretty long book, like 700 plus pages. I'm on the last chapter and still
Woohoo.
in. So are you definitely gonna pick up the rest of the books in the Wheel of Time?
Do you think is it like hard to read or would it be okay for people who are somewhat like not beginners to fantasies, but more of like we don't read it on a like consistent basis, like that kind of like high fantasy, epic fantasy type of book, or is it like kind of difficult to get into? So I've never even tried to, like, I don't even know what it's about. I've never even like tried, like I just get okay, Wheel of Time,
Yeah,
this like
yeah, yeah.
epic fantasy series, but I don't know what it's about.
Because it's kind of like it intimidates me really
Yeah,
because like how long it is.
yeah. Isn't there
Hi,
like a
Bea. Welcome back.
hi Bea?
Yes, here.
Hello, how
Hello,
are
it's
you?
been a
And
while. It's been a long while.
how is the preparation?
Favorite times. Chapter 5. Enjoying it more than I can see. That I can see the kind of character she's trying to become. That's good though that you're loving it. Especially since it's a book that's been in your TBR for so long. Bea is currently listening to A Cowboy Like You by Donna Grant. Not even gonna guess if this is a
Definitely a
romance book,
romance.
please. Because I am still studying, I will just listen to the audiobook while I am reading my
How do
textbooks.
you
How
do
can
that?
you do that? Jinx.
How? Like I can barely listen to music while doing some reading.
I can only. I don't. Huh. Wait. Well, that's why I'm asking because like you're reading a textbook because I can listen to an
Reading.
audiobook when I'm doing something else. Like
Mm.
if I'm playing a game, whatever, I can listen to the audiobook. But if I'm also reading something different,
It's like
girl,
a
that's
pro
a
move.
whole
It's like elite
yeah.
reader pro level. Like
Yeah, the hurricane noise
imagining
on my
listening to an audiobook and then reading a book, but they're different. Like you're listening to a thriller and then you're reading a romance.
I don't think that's like a challenge that I would succeed succeed in.
I can barely listen to the same book in audio and read it at the same time. I can barely do
What more if it's a different one? I haven't read it, but I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I am also looking forward to it, but I'm still intimidated by the length of the book. Like the I'm not sure if it's the same with you, but like the margins are like decent and like
yeah.
the
It's
spacing is
standard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It looks
It's
pretty
more of like I
standard.
don't think I'm in the right
I
headspace
see.
for a fantasy right now.
It's actually been a while since I read a fantasy. What was the last fantasy that I read? And then I'll find
Hmm.
out I just read a fantasy. Wait,
I
no,
don't think
this
I've read. Well, after Lambana is the closest.
for you. That's been a
Yeah,
while.
because Six of Crows is like early this year. So
Well, I guess if you count Gallant, which is a middle grade fantasy, that's like this month. But I don't like it's not like super fantasy. It's more of like there's just another dimension or something. Um, well, I did read a. I love how I said it's been a while, and then the last fantasy I read was like August 2. But it was like
well,
I
it
didn't particularly like that book, so maybe that's why I forgot about it.
well also Frankenstein because the Junji Ito, but like that's
Mm,
more on the
yeah.
horror side than
Mm.
fantasy. So I
Maybe
wasn't
I'm just like I
big
used to read fantasy one after the other, like back to back to back, like different
fan.
fantasy series. So now that I'm reading more into other genres, I feel like it's been a while since I read fantasy. 56% of my book. Oh, ice cream.
At one point, the cats brought cream affogato and oh my gosh, this sounds so good right now. I'm
I love
also studying.
Studying.
Can't spell studying without dying. I need to multitask. Music is more distracting. Where is the
Well,
studying?
probably because you like sing to it, or maybe like I don't know. I
If it's
That's why
like
I can't read and
with lyrics, if it's with
music.
lyrics, maybe if it's lo-fi, I could listen to music while
Yeah.
multitasking.
Like you know how some people have playlists while they're reading, like they search for a music playlist of the book that they're reading. I
Uh,
can't do it because I maybe if I don't know the songs, maybe
mm.
it would work. But if it's like popular songs, I hate that version.
It's already pretty decent, actually. Like even the
I think what I
spacing
don't like about that book that you have is the space between paragraphs seems like very small.
closer.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, the space between paragraphs. They look very close together.
But at least like the spacing per line
Around it,
is
yeah.
decent.
It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so tiny. Why are you staring at me? Look at this. Mm.
yeah. It's almost dinner time.
What?
Oh no, the pets have commenced. Oh no.
This is like her only party trick.
No. She's like, if I'm not eating, I might as well
Yeah.
get the pet.
Like she's looking straight into my eyes. Say hi. If you She doesn't want to say
Oh.
say hi, you fur monster. She's like shedding right now, so she doesn't want to say hi. Can you?
You pet me. She's shy, but she's very needy.
Yeah.
Like,
Hi. Go away.
definitely hungry for sure. Cute.
And the other
Can
one
you
is just
imagine? Can you imagine her with like in a dog cafe, as in like serving drinks?
no, she's gonna be very like she's the bitchy person, like bitchy cashier. She's like gonna be like with attitude. Yeah, she's gonna be that kind of and then my other dog is the one that sleeps while working. Sleeps on the job.
Maybe is shy, shy but definitely needy.
Yeah.
Aw, Curly Shenanigans.
Wow,
Hi,
wow, a lot
thank
of
you so
people are sprinting.
much. I hope your sprints are going okay.
Yeah. Thank you for dropping by.
Thank you so much for dropping by and hitting the like button. We'll definitely check out your sprints just in case we finish first and we want some more reading on our own.
Well, it's a holiday for us tomorrow, so maybe we will
Yeah.
get more reading done. Hmm.
So, should we do our fourth and last
Oh, our
sprint of
sprint.
the
Yes.
night?
Yes, let us do it. I think I can get to at least 100 today. Today, not by the end of the sprint, but today.
Just today.
Just today. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do our fourth and last sprint, everyone. We'll see you again in 30 minutes. Happy
Happy reading.
reading.
Hi.
Hello again.
How's the sprint?
That was quick.
Yeah, it
It was.
was too quick.
I got to 60% of the book, and I still
Ooh.
want to read more.
Do you think you'll finish it tonight? Is it the type of book that you
Mm,
can put down?
it kind of is because, like, it just gets more mysterious the more that you read it, and like, it's the kind of book that there would be moments that you can predict what would happen, like just making connections based on what you've read. But like even then, something else would happen and be like, huh, okay, so this is what makes it a fantasy novel. So, but
Wait,
I would read more. I would definitely read more after our sprints.
you mentioned earlier that it was dark fantasy. Is it because it's kind of like horror and fantasy?
Yeah, kind of. But I cannot see much the horror part in this, but well, maybe yes, because like someone just got introduced when I was reading the current chapter, and I can definitely see the horror fantasy here.
Is
It's
it
got
like
it's
gory or no?
no, not gory at
It's
all.
not that kind of horror. Okay. For me, I made it to
Yeah.
page 106, which is the end of chapter 9. So far it's getting good. We kind of got to the first, I guess, there was like a little bit of a mystery thing that was introduced in the beginning. So we kind of got our initial set of answers. And obviously there's like more questions after that. But it's getting interesting. And the the island where it looks like the Philippines in the map, they have this thing called they have this animal that has some sort of
Mm.
magic, and it's called asariman, and it's basically asari manok. Like how it was
Oh,
described and everything, but it's called asariman. I'm like, oh, it's so cool that I'm seeing Filipino myths and cultures in this book. But yeah, so it's getting good, and I think I am now appreciating the whole audiobook while reading the physical thing because it's still like the writing is not my favorite, but with the audiobook I can kind of like it just goes through me. I don't have to like make the effort of reading those parts. So it does help me like stay focused on the text and not feel like bored by the extra words, if you will. How is everyone?
so you finally appreciated the audio
Yeah, I
while
think
reading with your eyes.
Yeah, I think because probably because I know now what speed I need to. Well, I guess it depends on like how fast the narrator is speaking. But for this narrator, I think I find the speed that works well, and I'm just in a way I'm not super duper like I don't know how you do it, but I'm not like super duper following line by line. But it's
Mm.
more of like the whole general paragraph. I'm not sure if I'm doing it like the way other people are doing it, but it just helps me stay focused.
I
Yeah.
still read it line by line. Like
Mm,
I try to what I usually do is like, okay, I'll set it at 1.75 at first just to acclimate myself with the
the whole-
story, like how
yeah.
it's being set at first. And once I'm done knowing the characters, the setting enough to like make it faster, and then
Mm,
I'll put it at like times two. So I try to
what is
adjust my eye reading speed
mm,
based on that.
because I find it hard to slow down my eye reading speed. So I kind of have to, but then when I matched it before, it was too fast in my ears that I basically couldn't like understand. But maybe because at the time I
Eh,
wasn't like, used to audio in general. But now that I'm like getting better at listening to audio, it now feels a lot more like it feels okay in my ears to listen to that fast. But so far it's working for this book, so I guess that's a plus. But what a good thing about listening to it is that if I have to do something, like I have to reply to a text, I don't need to like
Mm.
stop reading. I can continue to read by listening to it. So
But
there's
you're not confused with like, okay, when you're done with that thing that you're doing and you're still listening to the
I
audiobook,
kind of
but you
wait
have
for the next paragraph before I check the book again. Like I don't, because I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time trying to find it mid paragraph. So kind of
yeah.
wait for the next paragraph, because there's like usually in the audio they do the proper stops and pauses and whatever. So in between paragraph, there's like a an audible like gap in between the audio. So okay, it's a new paragraph. I can check it back now.
Okay, Dreamer, congrats! That's 54% through your book. I think I've also made a good progress tonight. Well, granted that the book is also pretty short, but still.
Are you like Dreamer gonna be reading more? I mean, it's morning for you, right? So are you gonna be reading more for the rest of the day, or is this kind of like your reading time, the only reading time that you have?
If you do, I feel like you're gonna be able to finish your book
Yeah,
today.
you're
I'm
gonna
just
be reading.
excited that. Hmm?
You're gonna continue reading after this break.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna drop by Dreamcatcher's stream and like
Hmm.
I think she's currently sprinting
Still
still.
shooting.
She has like 15 minutes intervals and that. So I think I'm gonna try to check that out and read more until I get sleepy. But I'm just glad that I'll definitely be able to finish this
Yeah,
either tonight or tomorrow so I can
yeah.
read a new book.
Especially since we have a holiday tomorrow, so
Yeah.
a lot of time to read. But I can't believe the
Wait, are you
holiday.
still gonna solo sprint this long weekend
Nah,
or
nah. So initially, I planned to do that on
Friday? Last
Saturday
Friday?
or Friday, like Friday, late Friday, and then bleeding into like Saturday early morning. But then we watched Avengers again, Infinity Wars and Endgame again, and then we watched what did we watch? Ghost Ship. Like we got into this
Oh,
mo-
that's so
like
random.
I know. I was like, I think I was thinking of like I want to watch some like old horror movie that's like
Mm.
iconic when I was younger.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was saying like 13 Ghosts, Ghost
Oh my
Ship.
gosh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those were
Ghost
the
recently.
era.
So how about Ghost Ship? And my partner Nico hasn't watched Ghost Ship yet. So we're like, okay, let's watch Ghost Ship. So we watched that. So I kind of ran out of time to do sprints because I've just been watching movies. I even downloaded Letterbox for fun. I don't know why. I just
Mm.
got into the mood to watching movies, like random old movies. I watched. What did I watch? I watched Fight Club. Just I don't know. I just felt like watching it, and then I also watch. How do you see the stuff that you watch? Is it
Surprised
here?
that you don't have like the old romance films there. Or
In
was it a random selection
which one?
that you watched? That you've
Oh
watched
yeah, it's
recently?
kind of. I started actually. So I watched Top Gun because I wanted to watch the new Top Gun. So I kind of
Maverick.
rewatched. Yeah. So I kind of rewatched Top Gun just to refresh my memory. And
Mm.
then because I wanted to watch Maverick, and then once I watched that, I wanted to watch more like war fighting type of movies. So I watched Black Hawk Down, and then after that, I was like, okay, I want more war type things, but I wanted something like more lighthearted. So I watched Avengers, the first one. And after that, I watched Civil War up until they clashed
Mm.
in the airport, and
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
stopped
yeah, yeah.
watching. And then I watched Battle Los Angeles, which was another war movie with aliens. And then I watched the two Avengers, like Infinity Wars and Endgame.
My
And then
gosh.
it was just such a random day where I was like, I don't know, I just want to watch these movies. I don't know what happens. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not doing sprints.
Yeah, when it get into the mood, maybe.
And it's very rare for me these days to get into the mood to watch movies.
Mm,
I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it. I have a holiday. I have like maybe because movies are long, like at least an hour 30 usually, and I feel like and I hate having to pause and play movies. I want to watch it in one go. So I feel like I never
mm,
have the time to watch, and then I also want to read and stuff. So now that I had that feeling that I wanted to watch movies, I just okay, fine. I'm gonna watch movies. I'm
mm.
not gonna sprint anymore.
Well, I've recently, well, I'm still crocheting, so from time to
Do
time.
you do
And I'm
that while
like,
watching something?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, I finished the whole season of the Eight show. So, it's this Korean, it's not drama, but like, it's Korean show. Like, think of Squid Game, but with Big Brother
Ooh.
mixed in it. So
So
it's
like
still
they're
based on
under
the desperation
surveillance.
for money, yeah, 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 and trying to survive. But basically, it's the less gory version because like it's just eight characters and they
Yeah.
have to keep the show going so they can earn more money. So it's very interesting. I finished it in a day while I was crocheting.
Wait, how many episodes is it, or is it a movie?
Eight. It's also eight. So it
Wow,
has eight
eight
characters and
characters,
eight
eight
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's easy to
Was it good?
binge.
Do you recommend it?
I just like Squid Game more, I think.
Hmm.
But it's very bingeable because like, you're gonna keep on be like, huh, what's gonna happen? Like, why is this still going on? Whatever, whatever. So it's like the baby version of Squid Game. Like I still like Squid Game better. But this one also has like very psychological psychological play in it. And it's also based on a webtoon actually. It's based on a
A lot
webtoon.
of like new Korean stuff, right? Well, maybe a lot of Korean stuff in general are based on like web stuff are based on like webtoons.
Yeah.
I just realized maybe last year that True Beauty was based on a webtoon as
Mm.
well.
They
So it makes sense. Like a lot of manga inspired Japanese movies and Japanese
yeah,
TV
yeah,
shows.
yeah. When you're in the mood for Korean show, maybe you could give Eight show a try.
I'm being invaded by what's with the dog?
Because it's past their dinner time.
Like, when are you gonna shut up? Give us food. They're just staring at me like off camera.
Like, when are you gonna be done?
Hmm, gonna save that in my watch list. Okay.
So, thank you to everyone who has joined our sprints. We hope you were able to tackle your tasks and your get some reading done with our sprints. And for our next ones, it's gonna be at Pam from This Book Belongs to Pam's channel. I have her channel linked down below if you aren't subscribed yet. Do you want to promote any new videos that I was notified of today to
Yeah,
close
so
off our stream?
before the sprint, I did publish a new reading vlog. It was a reading vlog for the full moon readathon. So it was a very casual reading vlog, but I did find a new 5-star read, which was unexpected. So watch that if you want 20 minutes of white noise, I guess. And then the next sprint is gonna be on my channel. We're just gonna post it on Instagram. That's where we usually announce the final day and time, but it will likely be on the same day, like Sunday at around the same time, but we will finalize it over on Instagram. So make sure to follow us if you want to join us for the next reading sprints. And that is it. Thank you
Thanks,
everyone for joining us today.
everyone.
Hope we see
We
you
hope to
next
see you
week.
again.
Bye.